Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking through some MLB player props I like on Prizepicks for today, for Wednesday, August the 17th. We do have a full 15-game slate on Wednesday. We do have some early games today. I believe there are a handful of early games. I think there's like 5 or 6 early games today. We're just going to talk through some plays I like in these night games. I've been looking at the board for the past hour or so since Prizepicks posted their pitcher props. And man, it was really tough to find a ton that I loved for today. That could definitely change. Obviously, Prizepicks is going to add a lot more props as we get closer to the start of the games on Wednesday. But at the time I'm making this video on Tuesday night, there wasn't much that stood out. So I just am going to give out 2 picks for today. I have 2 plays coming in some of these night games that we'll talk about in a second. But before we do talk through the 2 plays that I like for today, guys, we can recap our plays on Monday. Monday was the last day I made a video. Didn't make a video Tuesday. But Monday, we gave out 3 picks Monday, and Monday wasn't terrible. We didn't get a clean sweep, sadly, but we did go 2-1 on the 3 plays that we gave out Monday. So if you guys did a flex play or if you mix and matched, maybe you were able to make a little bit of money on Monday. The 2 plays that did hit were the over on Julio Urias fantasy points and then the over on Luis Castillo fantasy points. The 1 play that missed was Garrett Cole's over fantasy points, and I think Garrett Cole came up like 6 or 7 points short. I think we needed 45 fantasy points from Garrett Cole, and he finished with, I believe, 37. He didn't pitch that great of a game. I think he went 6 innings, gave up 1 run, but he only got like 6 strikeouts. And obviously in that matchup against Tampa Bay, that was a spot where I was expecting Garrett Cole to be able to rack up a lot of strikeouts. I think his K prop that day was set at 8.5. And he only had 6 strikeouts, and that's kind of what was lacking. He just didn't get any strikeouts. He only gave up 1 run, but the Ks weren't there. He wasn't able to get the win either. Just an unfortunate, situation. I thought it was a really good spot for Cole. I liked his line at 44.5. It actually did get bumped up to 46.5 later on in the day. So we got in early on the play before it got bumped up, and Cole just came up short. But Urias hit, and Luis Castillo hit. So if you guys played those 2 picks, together as a 2-pick, or if you did a flex play, hopefully you were able to make some money. But we got 2 picks for this Wednesday slate, guys. Again, the board's pretty gross, but I still want to come on here and give out a few plays I like. So real quickly, hit that like button, guys, if you do enjoy these MLB videos. I know MLB right now is not a sport that's garnering a lot of attention. I know MLB season at this point in the year, in middle of August, there's not a ton of people demanding MLB content right now. So I'm just trying to grind through these last few weeks, and I'm just really waiting for NFL season. When NFL season gets here, I'm going to be psyched, to make new content, talk about a new sport. And I know, obviously, NFL is a sport that garners a lot of attention when it comes to content. So I'm ready for NFL season in a few weeks, guys. But we still have, some MLB slates to cover. I'm going to be trying to upload MLB at least, Monday through Friday. Not sure yet about the weekends, but definitely want to get videos up, on the weekdays if possible. I know I missed yesterday, but I do want to try and, still upload as many MLB videos every day as I can, at least until NFL season starts. So if you do enjoy these videos, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button too. And if you are new to Prizepicks, if you guys have actually not signed up for Prizepicks yet, definitely get over there, sign up. Make sure that when you do sign up, use promo code Noah. When you sign up with my promo code, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100. And also, if you guys enjoy these YouTube videos, if they help you out a lot, and if you want to get more Prizepicks plays from me, I do provide those over on Patreon. I usually give out anywhere from like 3 to 5 additional plays each day. I give a full write-up for each play, so I give a in-depth description, brief summary of why I choose the play that I do. And then you can choose how you want to play those plays. If you want to play them all together in one entry, you can do that. If you want to run different combinations, if you want to mix and match, that's totally up to you. But I do give out additional Prizepicks plays with in-depth descriptions of why I like each play. And I also give out my favorite 2 plays overall on the day. So after the full board has been posted and I've been able to dissect the full board and find as many props I like as I can find, I'll take all my plays for the day, come up with my favorite 2, and then I'll give out like a 2-pick power entry that you can run. I give that out on Patreon. So definitely check out the Patreon if you are interested. As always, it's linked down below in the description. But let's talk through our 2 plays for this Wednesday slate. Gonna focus on the night games for today. Like I said, we do have some early games, but there's not much I love in these early games. Maybe when Prizepicks post their full board Wednesday morning, I'll find some stuff I like, and if I do, I'll share those on Patreon. But for the 2 plays that we're gonna give out in this video, first play that I like is gonna be a pitcher fantasy score. going to be targeting a guy in a friendly matchup here. You know, he's not really pitched that well so far this season. He's only made a few starts. But the matchup for today is really good, and that's going to be Domingo Germán, and he gets to face the Rays, and I like his over 28.5 fantasy score going up against Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay is definitely one of the more friendly matchups in the league. They have a really high strikeout rate. So far this year, the Rays had the 5th highest K rate against right-handed pitching, 24.6% K rate. And their offensive numbers against righties are not that great. In terms of batting average, they ranked 23rd. In terms of on-base percentage, Tampa Bay ranks 21st. In terms of slugging, they are 26th. OPS, they rank 26th. WRC plus, Tampa Bay is, I believe they're a little bit higher up in WRC plus. They're 13th. But in general, this is not a Rays offense that you really fear. They're not a team that really puts up a ton of runs most nights, and they do strike out quite a bit. So there's always upside when you get to face Tampa Bay. Now, Domingo Germán, like I said, he's just kind of been mediocre this season. Like, he hasn't really had any great starts. He's made 5 starts so far this year, but I will say that he has had some really tough matchups. His first start of the year, he had to face the Astros. Then he had to face the Mets. Then he got a matchup against the Mariners, which is fine, but it's not a great spot. Then he had to face the Cardinals, which is kind of a tough matchup. And then he had to face the Red Sox in his most recent start. He has gotten 29 fantasy points, so he's gone over this prop in 2 out of those 5 starts. He had 31 fantasy points in his most recent start against the Red Sox, and then he had 29 fantasy points when he faced the Mets. But Germán really hasn't gotten like a good matchup yet this season in the 5 starts that he's made. Obviously, this is a favorable spot. Like I said, the Rays do strike out quite a bit. You can actually take a look at their lineup. Only a few hitters in their lineup have low K rates. So Yandy Diaz has a 12.8% K rate against righties this year. Isaac Paredes has a 16% K rate, 16.8%. And that's really it, man. Like, you look at the other hitters. Lau, 24%. Rosarena, 25%. Peralta, 23%. Choi, 27%. Walls, 27%. Siri, 31%. Mejia, 29%. Like, there are a lot of strikeouts in this Rays lineup. And when you look at their numbers, I mean, there's not much power in this lineup either. Like, the guy with the highest ISO on the team is David Peralta with a 216 ISO. I mean, you got guys in here with like 160, 116 ISOs. A lot of WOBAs below 300, so I think it's a pretty good spot for Domingo Germán. I know he's not like pitched that well this season. I know he doesn't have great stats, but I'm just going to target the friendly matchup here. Germán did go 6 innings in his most recent start, and I believe he was able to throw close to 90 pitches. His pitch count has not been like super high this season. The most pitches he's thrown is 90, but he did throw 86 pitches in his most recent start against Boston. He was able to get through 6 innings, and he got a quality start. That's kind of what I'm hoping for from Germán today. I'm hoping he can go 6 innings, get a quality start. Maybe he gives up 2 or 3 runs, but if he's able to get 4 or 5 strikeouts to offset that, he could still hit 29 fantasy points or more. Like, if he gets, let's say he goes 6 innings, gives up 2 runs, and gets 5 strikeouts, that would put him at 31 fantasy points. And I feel like that's pretty doable. I mean, right now I think his strikeout prop is set at 5, so yeah, it's kind of what the books are projecting him for, is around 5 strikeouts. You would think he probably only gives up maybe a couple runs. I don't see him really getting blown up here. I know he has struggled at times this season. Like, he did give up 5 runs to Houston to start the season, but I mean, that was Houston. Like, he hasn't given up more than 3 runs this year. The one start where he did give up over 3 runs was against the Astros, and that was obviously a really tough matchup. The strikeout stuff has not really been there for Germán. He's a guy that has shown strikeout upside in the past. So far this year, his K rate's fairly low, but he really hasn't had any good strikeout matchups. This is definitely a good strikeout matchup. As we mentioned, the Rays, they're top 5 in K rate against righties this year. So targeting the friendly matchup here, I do like Domingo Germán over 28.5 fantasy points as our first play for today. Then our second play to round out our 2-pick entry, we're going to go down to one of these late night games. Liking Carlos Rodon, going to be taking his over 42.5 fantasy points going up against the Diamondbacks. I like his over fantasy score. I also don't mind over 7.5 strikeouts if you wanted to play that as well. But I do like fantasy score a little bit more just because I think Rodon can get a quality start here. I think there is some win equity for him as well. We didn't talk about that with Germán, but obviously there's a chance that Germán could get a win here. I will say that the Yankees, I mean, they have just been dreadful offensively lately. They haven't been able to score any runs. But that could be an additional 6 points for Germán if he can get a win, if the Yankees can give him some run support. But talking about Rodon, right now the Giants, they're minus 213 moneyline favorites. They're big favorites in this game. Zach Davies is going to be pitching for the Diamondbacks, and Zach Davies, I mean, he's not that great of a pitcher, at this point in his career. He just doesn't really have much strikeout upside, doesn't really have any strikeout stuff. So I would think the Giants are going to be able to put up some runs against Davies, give Rodon some run support, and maybe he could be able to get a win. So if he can go like 6 innings, maybe 7 strikeouts with a win, and as long as he doesn't give up like 3 runs, I mean, if he gives up 1 or 2 runs with 7 Ks and gets a win, that's probably going to be enough to go over his fantasy score. I think actually 6 innings, 7 Ks, 1 run, and a win would put him at 43 fantasy points, and that feels pretty doable for Rodon. Actually, I think 6 innings, 7 Ks, one run, and then a win. I think I actually put him at 46 fantasy points. So he doesn't really even need that much. I mean, 6 innings, 6 Ks, 1 run, and a win. That would be 43. So that kind of feels like a good projection from him. Right now, again, his K prop is set at 7.5. So the books are kind of expecting him to get anywhere between 7 to 9, 10 strikeouts. I mean, Rodon is a really, really good pitcher. He's a really good strikeout pitcher. He's shown great strikeout stuff this season. Has one of the higher K rates in the league, 31.1% K rate. But another thing that you like to see is that Rodon, he's done a really good job, limiting damage. He just has a 2.76 expected ERA this season. He's just got a 2.61 expected WOBA. All of his expected numbers are really, really good. Obviously, his strikeout rate is really, really good. The walk rate, he's definitely gotten better, about his walk rate. He used to be really bad at walking guys. Like, he had an 11% walk rate back in 2015. But so far, the last few years, I mean, he's definitely done a better job of, with his command. His walk rate is down. So if he can limit the damage, if he only gives up maybe 1 or 2 runs, we know the strikeout upside is always there for Rodon. He's a great strikeout pitcher. I think last time he faced the Diamondbacks, he actually did get 10 strikeouts. I do believe that he gave up 5 runs in that start. Obviously, that's not something that we should expect to happen again. But yeah, last time he faced Arizona, he went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 runs. He gave up 5 runs on just 3 hits. I mean, that feels really fluky. But he did have 10 strikeouts last time he faced Arizona. And then he also faced Arizona back on July 4th. He didn't pitch that well. 5 innings, 7 Ks, 4 runs. So far this year in the 2 starts he's made against Arizona, he has gone under his fantasy score. But again, I'm going to back the talent of Rodon here. He's got really good stuff. He's got great strikeout upside. The matchup, I think, is solid. So far this year against lefties, the Diamondbacks have been about league average. If we take a look at their stats, for the entire season, in terms of strikeout rate, I believe they're about middle of the pack. Yeah, they're pretty much in the dead center, 22.7% K rate. And I believe most of their offensive numbers are pretty much league average as well. Batting average, the Diamondbacks are 20th. On base percentage, Arizona's 23rd, so even a little bit below average. They're 19th in slugging. They rank 21st in OPS. So they've been kind of a below average team against lefties, and they are a team that does strike out some. They haven't had a super high K rate against lefties, but again, you got to think Rodon's one of the best strikeout pitchers in the league with a K rate above 30%. Guys like Carson Kelly, 21% K rate, Luplow, 28%. Varsho, 28, Hummel, 25, Rojas, 26, Alcantara, 22. Really, the only guys that haven't been striking out against lefties in this Diamondbacks lineup are Rivera with a 12% K rate, Christian Walker, 12% K rate, and then Perdomo, 14% K rate. This is another situation, though, kind of similar to the Rays lineup. You look at the power, the ISO, and the WOBA numbers for these Diamondbacks hitters. I mean, there's a bunch of low numbers here. Like Dalton Varsho has a .60 ISO against lefties. Hummel, 136 ISO. There's not much power in this Diamondbacks lineup. Really, the only guy that's hit left-handed pitching, or the only few guys that have hit left-handed pitching well this year, have been Rivera, Luplow, and Walker. But even Luplow, I mean, he's got good numbers, a 310 ISO, but he also has a 28% strikeout rate. So I think this is definitely a spot where Rodon can limit the damage. Maybe give up 1 or 2 runs, if that. But the strikeouts are always going to be there for Rodon because he's such a good strikeout pitcher. He's usually able to go fairly deep into games. He usually can go 6 innings, can get a quality start. There's definitely some win equity for him as well. There's definitely a chance he gets a win with the Giants being -213 moneyline favorites. So I like that as our second play for today, guys. To round out our 2-pick entry, it's going to be Carlos Rodon over 42.5 fantasy score. Again, don't mind taking over 7.5 strikeouts if you want to play that one too. But I'm personally going to be taking his fantasy score just because I feel a little bit better about that one. But this is our 2-pick for today. This Wednesday slate, right now, looking at the board the night before, there's not much that I really felt super good about, but this is what I'm going to be rolling with today. Hopefully we can cash this 2-pick, build some momentum heading into Thursday slate, and hopefully, close out this week with a couple of wins. And obviously, these final few weeks before the NFL season starts, I want to try and build up my bankroll, not try and, do anything stupid or, have a bad run these last few weeks. These last few weeks of the MLB season they're just kind of a grind. You just kind of have to grind it out. It's definitely tough at this point in the year. I've been playing DFS for like 7 years now. I know at this point in the year, when you're getting into the summer, late summer, late August, it's just, you're ready for football, man. I enjoy baseball. It's a fun sport to bet. It's a fun sport to watch when you have money on the line, but I'm to the point now where I'm ready for football season. We still got a few more weeks of baseball, and hopefully we can close out these last few weeks with some good wins and make some money these last few weeks. But again, guys, appreciate you watching these videos every single day. Hit that like button if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and also check out Prizepicks. If you are new to Prizepicks, get over there, sign up, use promo code NOAH. When you do, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. And if you guys want more Prizepicks plays from me, I do provide those over on Patreon. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I do full breakdown, full write-up for each play that I give out on Patreon. Also, I give out my favorite 2 plays overall for the day that you can run a 2-pick power entry with. I have a Discord chat as well. That's all available for Patreon members. Check that out if you are interested. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the videos. As always, hope you did enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.